Hi, this is Patrick Donohoe, and I'm so grateful to kick off this new podcast that is intended for Paradigm Life clients called the Perpetual Wealth Strategy Podcast. Now, I've hosted the Wealth Standard podcast since 2007. It's so hard to believe that it's been that long. And the theme of that podcast is, I would say, general financial strategies, principles, and philosophy. But this show is a little bit different. It's a podcast focused exclusively on our clients to continue to teach and reinforce the implementation of the perpetual wealth strategy, which is our expertise. So I'm here today to kick it off and to talk about what you guys have set up and what you can expect in the coming months and years. Now, you may have noticed that this podcast is public, so you guys can share it if you want. But I realize that there may be some people that have heard about it randomly, or they've been referred here. So, welcome to you guys as well. I know that there may be some different, unique things that we talk about, but I think you're going to find value in some of those topics. So through this podcast, the purpose again is really to come alongside you and continue to teach you. It's something I'm passionate about. I'm always learning, and I also realize that one of the best ways to learn is to experience the life of somebody else who is doing the same thing. We all have these. Every life is different. We're all unique and different individuals, and how we think about things, how we approach things. There may be some similarities, but there's always going to be differences as well. So you're going to have a network of support of not just the wealth strategists at Paradigm Life, which you're going to hear from as well, but also our clients and the questions that they ask, the scenarios that they face. In fact, we're going to actually have clients on the podcast as guests, talking through their experience. So hopefully that angle is going to help you as well, just to think about things different and further your financial education. But I realize that also going to the purpose of the podcast, I realize that we're in the information age and we're bombarded with financial media multiple times a day. So I realize that you guys incorporating a atypical strategy into your finances is going to present circumstances in which you are explaining what you're doing, whether that's with a financial advisor, your CPA, your attorney, friends and family, colleagues. And so, what we're going to talk through here, as well as provide as resources, will allow you to more fluidly have those conversations and have resources that you can share with them. And one thing I'll talk about today, which I think is going to be relevant to all the future podcasts, is a model that we have been using here for quite some time called the hierarchy of wealth. It's a model in which we categorize assets, as well as create more of a framework so that you can see the decision, where the decisions you have to make financially fit into the overall goals and initiatives that you have. But I officially wrote about it in the book that I came out with in 2018 called Heads I Win, Tails You Lose. A copy is right here. If you guys haven't picked up the book, definitely pick up a book. We'll put a link in the show notes for it. But the hierarchy of wealth is something that was inspired by Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which many of you are probably familiar with from your high school psychology classes. But the hierarchy of needs is interesting because it shows the sequence of needs that we have as human beings and the order in which we meet those needs, starting with the physiological needs, those foundational food, shelter, and clothing. If we don't have that, then we can't necessarily get to the next set of needs that we have, which are safety needs, whether it's the safety of a community or a country that we live in that we naturally seek. And then the next stage is our relationship needs. So it's like we need our physiological first, then our safety next, and then our relationship after that, then self-esteem, then self-actualization. So the reason why I love this model is it provides that sequence, where to start and where you ultimately finish. And I think the idea of anticipation, being prepared for certain things in the future. You don't know exactly what they are, but you can put them into a specific model that helps you make the right decision when that time comes. So the hierarchy of wealth starts with tier one, and we consider the perpetual wealth strategy the ideal strategy to establish your foundational financial needs. And we're going to get into that with the various episodes of the podcast. And then next to tier two, which is a different type of asset, tier three, and then tier four. And we're going to really talk through as it relates to the decisions that you are going to face, probably today, next week, next year, how to incorporate that model to make the most informed decisions and obviously to have the most successful outcomes. So regardless of where you're at in life, that's going to change, right? Right now, you could be just starting out, just graduating, just getting married, in your first job, or you can be experienced and ready to take the next your life to the next level by changing jobs or starting a business, etc. And that's just going to continue. So obviously, we're going to approach your financial life from many perspectives, which may not be relevant right now, but hopefully will be relevant in the future based on where you're at then. Now, a few years ago, for a few years now, Investopedia has honored me with being one of the most highly influential financial advisors in the country. And I would guess that has to do with just my obsession with learning and then teaching what I learn. And that obviously is going to continue. So it's not just me, but it's my team as well. We're going to be here on the podcast to continually find ways to bring more value to you through actual financial strategy, ways of looking at things, or through the experiences of others. That's one of the best ways to learn, as I've mentioned, because we have clients in all walks of life, and some may be relevant, some may not. Some may be relevant right now, and some may not be relevant until well into the future as you experience new things in your life. But we've realized that you guys have made a commitment, a lifelong commitment. And we're here to reciprocate on that commitment, to continually reinforce our principles, our philosophy, the different models we have in order to make the best decisions. Because one decision can lead to a bad outcome, one decision can lead to an amazing outcome. And so, really establishing a reinforced set of values and principles and rules, if you will help you to make the appropriate decision when that time comes. And so I'm excited to really build this podcast, and you're more than welcome, as I mentioned before, to share this with friends and family and professional relationships, and also the show notes and the other pieces of collateral and educational information that we're going to have on the podcast page. So that's on paradigmlife.net. So you guys can go bookmark that page and visit the brand new Perpetual Wealth Strategy Podcast page. It's going to have the show notes. If you don't know what show notes are, they're essentially kind of a breakdown of what we talk about in each time stamp of the podcast. It also has the links to any references we make, whether it's books or websites or people. That's going to be on there as well. But this is going to be a great adventure for us all, and I'm excited for you. If you're not on our email lists, the newsletter lists, make sure you get on those. You can email the client support team. You can go onto the webpage, theparadigmlife.net, and submit information that way. So if you're not on our list, we can put you on that very easily so that you're updated with new episodes as well as other things that we're sharing. So that's it. I'm humbled by you being here and taking the time to listen to this. Please subscribe to the podcast and share it with friends and family. But I'm grateful for the trust that you've placed in us as it relates to your foundation of your financial life. It means it means a tremendous amount to me. So be sure to visit our webpage to get more information on this episode as well as future episodes, and also just to stay in touch with us. There's a lot of clients that we have had over the years, and we want to just take our reciprocation of the value you've provided to us to the next level and provide you with the resources, the information, the education, so that you can continue to experience financial success in your life. All right, so join us on the next episode. I'm going to have a very special person on. We're going to be talking about the wealth mindset. His name is Justin Atkinson. Justin is an incredible person, one of the most experienced wealth strategists that we have. and has just an incredible attitude. So you guys are going to be, if you don't know Justin, you're going to be really happy to listen to this podcast. I can't wait for that interview. So thank you for joining us on this kickoff episode, and thank you again for your support. And we'll see you next time. Thank you for listening to the Perpetual Wealth Strategy Podcast. Be sure to visit the show's official page at paradigmlife.net for appropriate disclaimers and terms of service. Guest opinions are their own. If you require specific investing, financial, legal, tax, or any other specialized advice, please consult an appropriate professional or a wealth strategist at Paradigm Life. We welcome and appreciate reviews of the show. Head on over to iTunes or Stitcher to leave your review today. And don't forget to subscribe to the show to get access to every new episode and its exclusive content. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next time.